So let's explore some more risk associated with the scheduled data. We spoke about scheduled data in the last two videos. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you really see new content on data privacy. And as I said, let's speak a bit about the security threats that you get out into because of the scheduled data. What is scheduled data? An unforgotten, unmanaged, forgotten data in your organization. You copied it and kept it somewhere on an external storage, on an old storage, in some folders that you don't normally access, uploaded it to a cloud service provider. You are believing that you are saving your costs, putting it on a low cost object storage for something which is not important. Whether it's important or not is not just because you think it is not important. For example, we talk about a case study where someone in an automobile industry said it's a customer's test data, and therefore he uploaded on a low cost object storage without worrying about the security. But it is customer's data, it had customer contacts, right? So it is not important for you or for the purpose, but the data is important. Sometimes organizations don't know whether this kind of data exists, but actually in all organizations, this kind of data exists. Some of the employees also keep a copy sometimes when they are processing data and they want to be sure that the the live data is safe. They'll make a copy of it and keep process the live data. Once their processing and all is over, they'll actually forget that they had kept a copy somewhere, right? Taking backups, taking archivals, they are also in a way shadow data, and they can act as a threat if they are breached. In any case, they are shadow data because they are copies of data. Third party sharing, that would happen if you are a data processing organization. That would also happen if your business has some components outsourced. For example, a hospital has a physical lab associated with it. So the lab is a third party, right? So data is shared there and it's personal data. And if this very old patient still resides there, right? So that's what about shadow data is. It's unmanaged, forgotten, least accessed, not actively managed kind of data. What are the key risks associated with this data? Does it have personal data because we're talking all about privacy? Well, yes, every data has some part of the personal data, smaller or larger. So this also includes personal and sensitive personal data. For example, if there are customer data available on all spreadsheets, this could be marketing, this could be sales, anyone. Finance keeps customer data, vendor data. I had to recover an Excel file for one of the finance guys. The Excel file had the bank details of all the vendors. So why not in a CRM? Why not in a ERP? Why in a separately kept Excel sheet where there's a possibility of keeping copies of it? And this is extremely sensitive personal data. Security risk? Well, because you think the data is not important and you rarely manage it, you don't keep security parameters around it. It could be mild. I know a lot of customers where we do assessment and you have come to know that there has been some data lying separately on a file server, 8 to 10 years old, not accessed for 8 to 10 years. Okay. And it has personal data and not accessed for 8 to 10 years, not even in knowledge. Will not get covered in data mapping and data inventory also. So why would someone put security on it? Why role-based access on it? They won't have it. Right? Encryption, etc. is something that we should not even talk about because it's not an important data until it gets breached. Regulatory compliances, all regulators say that any data that you have has to be managed. If you think it is not important, if you think it is not relevant, if you think you don't need it, delete it. Right? Simple. Delete the data that you think is not required to. And operational risk, because you are adding inefficiency into your system. You are paying to that cloud service provider, even if it's on low cost. One of these assessments that I did, which got me 10-year-old data, was because they wanted to buy a new file server because of lack of capacity, and we came up with 20 terabyte of data that has not been accessed for last 10 years. So do we really need to buy more storage? 20 TB is a good size, right? So you add up operational efficiency or to put in operational risks. So why should you have a strategy? You should have a strategy to begin with because of operational efficiency. You don't want to exhaust your resources like storage and cloud service providers, etc., for something you don't need or for something you have multiple copies. Right? Primary is working. you have to take backups for compliance, so backup is there. But why do you have copies beyond that? Then if they are there, then you have to put in security over there. So you should know what scheduled data you have and are you putting proper security implemented over there? Are you doing proper data mapping? For privacy, you need to have proper comprehensive data mapping. If there is a breach in this data, then there is a loss of customers' trust. That is very, very important because you are not meeting the compliance requirement. From compliance point of view, compliance mentions that you should monitor all the data you have. If there's a breach in personal shadow data, it's as good as having a breach. Right? For compliance, it is not that if shadow data is breached, it is okay. The fact is, if customers' information is breached and there's a misuse, it is not okay. And what about data principal rights? I say, please, you say I have erased, but it is still there. I say I want to access my data, but you yourself don't know where it is kept, so how do you give me an access? And if you know all these things better, by better efficient data mapping and including shadow data with the proper strategy that, okay, this is that role, no one else has accessed it, so I'm going to delete it. I don't need either other key copies, etc. Then you'll be able to handle the incidents and breach issues with respect to privacy also faster, more efficiently. So that's about the risks associated with the shadow data. We'll get into more details in the coming videos. So please subscribe to my channel, share your feedback in the comment section, and if you like this video, please press the like and the bell icon. Thank you.